Hello everyone. So today we're going to go talk about our 1 to 2 scale transfer. So in the last video we did a 1 to 1 scale. That was where we had 1 centimeter, and then on our picture, like our actual image on our nice sheet, we had another centimeter. And we just took that exact same information, exact same size, and we transferred it over to our final paper. Now for this one, it's a little bit more tricky because we're going to have to pay a big amount of attention to making these teeny little details get bigger, but also stay accurate. So again, just like our last one, we have the 1 to 7. I'm going to focus again on these hands. I'm going to label them up on top. 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll have some excess information on the side that's a-okay. So again, I'm going to go start with my left hand side because that's typically how I draw, and then I'll move over to my right and down. So number 1, box 1 is right over here. We're starting again with that thumbnail. Starting again on the outside because it makes it so much easier on yourself. Now, whenever you're doing a 1 to 2 scale transfer or even a bigger number than this, one thing that definitely helps you out, and I've mentioned it many times, if you need to, just do those cross sections to make this even smaller so that you can transfer that the angles and all the information on this to here more accurately. That is definitely key on a 1 to 2 scale transfer or even bigger. So I'm going to keep working on this thumb, and you really have to pay attention to all the different angles that occur, because basically if you get an angle or two wrong and it's getting bigger, you're basically showing your mistakes off to the whole entire world. It stinks, but that's really how it is. Tuck that finger in. It's down here just a little bit further. Curve up the finger with the knuckle. Next knuckle. Start bending it down. Go back to my thumb. Just trying to make sure this is correct. Like I said, even if you got to go over it a couple of times just to make sure the line's right and then clean up your lines later, go for it. Just as long as you're being accurate, that is what is most important. That one touches almost at the edge. You notice that I'm actually being a slight bit more accurate just because 1 centimeter is a really small area to draw. When you make it bigger, as long as you're keeping those angles accurate, it's actually a lot better for you, because you get a lot more room just to sit there and add extra detail. The more detail that you have, the more realistic, and people are gonna like really love it. When we get to our rodeo pieces, oh my gosh, that's where the big bucks comes in, if you sit there and spend a ton of time on your detail. I'm hoping this year we actually get really good, like we actually get something to the GRB stadium so we can actually make some money for you guys, which I think would be pretty cool. That one's down a little bit further. This wrist right here. No, that's how many down? I'm in 3? No, 4. And then I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I almost made a mistake. So her wrist goes right here. Then we start curving up to about halfway through the center. Okay, there's a slight wrist detail that happens right here, just a little bit of overlapping. Paying attention to those little things, I'm telling you, is going to help you out a lot. Okay, that middle finger in. Okay, let's go on to the right hand. Go 5 and down and touch the line. A little bit of that knuckle. Thumb is almost on the edge of the line. Thumbnail, top joint, and slipped on down. Okay, that curves out. Concave right here. Convex again for this part of the wrist right in here. Trying to get you guys more comfortable with some of this art terminology so we're all talking the same language. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Got my pinky going on. Touches that corner. Palm, base of the hand, turns into our wrist. Then a little bit of the instrument poking right here. Okay, go back up to the bottom of our index / our middle finger. It starts about here at that crinkle. This is where we got that negative space in between those two fingers. It's a little bit tricky, but if you really pay attention to it, it definitely gives you a good flow. Cool. The last little bit of the ring finger. And lots of negative space in between these two. And that's just because they have all these knuckles that occur right in here. Get the top part of the instrument just so it looks very similar to my other ones. We can compare. So I have all of my parts, and I'm going to go start back adding in my detail. Outside first, detail next. Got all that pretty good. I can start adding in like my shadow shapes in here, just so I know exactly where my shading is if I felt like it. So I will call them shapes a lot of times, because if I look at this is kind of like a little crescent shape. We got a half moon right here. I was actually taught this in a painting class, and I didn't understand until like almost at the end of the semester, and she's like, oh my gosh, you finally got it in this one painting. And I was like, okay, well I learned one thing this whole entire semester, but that was okay. So like right here we got this almost triangular shadow shape that would happen. We got this one that happens right here. So if you focus on these shadow shapes, then you know exactly where to go back later and add in your shading, so stuff like that. Okay? So we did 1 centimeter. This is 2 centimeters. So we made this little guy much bigger. So if you have a part on your picture that you just love, I highly suggest that you go a 1 to 2 scale or bigger, just so that you can show off that detail. So I'm going to slide this up and we'll be able to see our 1. So exact same shapes, exact same picture, but you can see so much more detail. Okay? So pick your scale based upon the size of your picture and how much of the detail that you want to add. I'll definitely help you out if you need like any help with selections on that, if we need to do any of the measurements, because sometimes there's even like decimals and stuff that's thrown in there. So if you need any help, please, please, please call me over. I'll be glad to help you guys out. See you guys in the next video.